I'm kind of bored. What the fuck did I just read? It was just like disturbing. Wow, that was fast. Why are you acting that way? And I literally gasped out loud. Wow, this lighting is yellow. Okay. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca. Today is Sunday, October 26th, and I think I'm going to be filming this video till next Sunday, which will be November 2nd. I'm kind of nervous because this weekend is Halloween, so I don't know how much reading I'm going to be doing during that, but we're going to stay positive and try and read as much as possible. I was going to start this video tomorrow, but I figured why not right now, because I'm going to be reading my first book, which is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This is my book club's book for this month. I always say for this month, but we don't really do like a monthly book. We just randomly have book club whenever we want. I'm actually already about 100 pages into this book. I'm on page 109 to be exact. And I'm low-key eating this up. I wasn't quite sure how I'd like it going in, but like I just said, I'm eating it up. And I have about an hour right now till I have to go to bed, so... Monday, and I have a couple reading updates. In Kingdom of the Wicked, last night I got to page 158, and then I read a little bit this morning before I had work, so I'm on page 170 now. I also realized I didn't tell you what this book is about. This is my third time trying to film this reading update, so let's hope that it works this time. Basically, I need to tell you guys what this book is about. It is about Victoria and Amelia, who are twin sisters, and they are part of a family line that is like witches, but they live in a world where like it's not good to be a witch. The humans don't like that. They don't want to know, they can't know like who the witches are. That would be really bad. So all the witches know of each other, but they don't really, like, they're not supposed to communicate because they don't want to be found out. Since Victoria and Amelia were little, their Nona has always told them the differences about like dark magic and light magic, and how there's like these demon princes in hell that are very bad, and to stay away from them, and to always wear these like special necklaces to protect them and practice their charms, and just always stay safe is basically what the Nona has been preaching to them. One day Amelia finds Victoria dead. That is kind of the catalyst to get this whole story moving. After her sister's death, Amelia becomes super vengeful. She wants nothing more but to avenge her sister's death, find out who killed her and what happened. So naturally, to do that, she summons a demon from hell, and it ends up being one of these like hell prince demon things that the Nona was always talking about, and his name is Wrath, and that's kind of the basis of the story. So far I'm really liking it, but it does feel kind of juvenile to me. Like, I don't know really how to describe it. I did get it in the young adult section, which I didn't know this was a young adult book, but now I do. So some of it feels a little bit young, but I don't know, maybe that will change as I keep reading. I'm still really enjoying the story. And then another thing is that Amelia will constantly be like, what would Victoria do right now? I need to be more like Victoria. And that kind of is like, girl, why? Anyways, that's like my only really thing that I'm like, stop doing that. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the book. Then I've also been listening to the audiobook of Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. It came out October 21st. I've been listening to it since the day it came out. How far in am I? 62% in. What is this about? This is told in two point of view. So the first point of view is Nina, and she is a sophomore in college joining a sorority. So it's her perspective going through being recruited, pledging, where I'm at right now, they're about to be initiated. And the other point of view is Sloane, who's an adjunct professor at the college. She just had a daughter, so she's coming back from maternity leave. She is dealing with being at work and not being with her daughter now. She meets this woman who asks her to be a faculty advisor for the sorority. So we have those two plot lines going on, but they are not like intersecting at all where I am right now. For me, I'd say I'm kind of bored right now where I'm at, because I was in a sorority, so like the build up and like the beginning stuff of like her going through recruitment and her like finding out she got a bid, like that was kind of boring, just because it's like, for someone who wasn't in Greek life, maybe that would be really interesting, but I've literally lived it like 600 times, so it's like nothing new to me. Obviously a lot of the things that they are doing after that I was not doing. I don't know, it still just felt kind of boring. Like I feel like I'm waiting for the shoe to drop almost. I kind of thought it'd be more about like the girl Nina like pledging and having to do some crazy shit, but that literally there was nothing. Like they didn't have to do anything, so I'm just very confused where the story is going to go. I'm not hating it, I'm just like, what's the point? So that being said, I'm gonna get back to work and we will see how much more reading I can do today. What was that? So I finished Girl Dinner earlier today. I've been sitting on it a little bit. Like it wasn't crazy. It was just like disturbing. Like I'm not sitting here like, whoa, that was the craziest book I've ever read. Plot twist, this, that. No, I'm just like, what was that? If you've read Bunny, it leaves you with that same feeling. But I think Bunny was way more confusing. Like this was way more straightforward to me. Anyways, I wrote down a couple thoughts. The book is a lot about what it means to be a woman, and it touches a lot on being a woman in today's society, traditional views of women, and I feel like the point of the book was to like bring awareness to that and advocate for that. But at the same time, this book was like doing the opposite. Like it was using the way women feel and the things women go through to justify doing something really bad, like something ethically wrong. And like it's a satire, so I understand why it was doing that, but it was like the reasonings, I don't know what I'm even trying to say. The reasoning was so correct, but the thing they were doing was so wrong. So I feel like that just like took away from the lessons it was trying to teach, because, well, I don't know. I also thought it was interesting that Olivia Blake, she mentions this in the acknowledgement, that she was in a sorority. It's kind of obvious that she was, in the way that it was so accurate to what being in a sorority is like, for the beginning part with like being recruited and joining and stuff like that. But this book paints sororities in a bad light for sure. So I feel like maybe she had a bad experience in her sorority, I don't know, but I feel like being a sorority woman, I wouldn't want this to be the worldview of sororities. I wrote down in my notes, no, because actually, what was that? The last few sentences, bro, I'm disturbed as fuck. I don't even know if I would say I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. The second half of the book, or I'd say what I listened to today, so like the last like 30% was super like captivating. It was just like the first 70%, I was like, where is this going? What's going on? I think I'm gonna rate this a 3.25. I don't know if anything I just said made sense, but first book finished in this video. Wednesday, and we have started another fall book. This morning I started listening to My Roommate is a Vampire. I am 34% through, so I think I have a good grasp of my feelings so far. What is the book about? The female main character, Cassie, is about to be evicted from her apartment. The male main character, Frederick, puts an ad up. He's renting out a room and it's only $200 a month, and she's like, whoa, this is crazy. At first she's a little sketched out, but her best friend Sam convinces her to go look at the apartment apartment. She looks at it, it's super like old but beautiful, and so she decides to take the room. Even though Frederick's like a little bit weird, she's like whatever. And he explains to her that the way his schedule is, he will be out of the apartment at night and sleeping in the apartment in the day. And she's like, that's perfect, I'll be working in the day and then sleeping at night, so we won't really have to interact that much. That's how the story begins. But obviously we know from the title that Frederick is a vampire. A few notes so far. Cassie's best friend Sam, like I said before, is the one that convinced her to go look at the apartment. She's like really sketched out, and he's like, Cassie, you can't afford anything, you're about to be evicted, you refuse to come live with me, go look at this apartment, I'll be right outside waiting for you. Like, he's like basically begging her to go look at it. Then when she looks at it, she finds out Frederick is like hot, and all of a sudden Sam is like, no, 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 you're not living there. Sam is gay, by the way. He's like fully married to a husband. So I'm kind of like, why is he all of a sudden like, no, 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 no? Like, I can understand your friend being like, oh, are you sure you want to live with someone who you're attracted to? Like, that might get messy. But no, it's not like a little bit. He's like, no, you can't live there, you cannot. So like the switch up was just kind of crazy to me. The next thing is that I feel like it's kind of insta-lovey. When I was at the 27% mark, I wrote down in my notes that he's like already has a crush on her and is like, I don't know how to describe it without spoiling things and giving things away, but it seems like he's like, oh, I like her, when the book is only like 25% through. And I was like, wow, that was fast. Like, maybe it's because I'm listening to the audio, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like they've had that many like substantial interactions. Like, yes, they've interacted, like crossing paths in the apartment and like having a few brief combos, but nothing deep. So it's like, why is he like having this massive crush on her? Like, I feel like because she's the only human he's like interacting with, he's like, I like her. So I hope that there's like more depth coming. All of that being said, I am enjoying the book overall. I wouldn't say it's like anything crazy. I'm not like in love with it, dying to listen, but I've been listening to it all day and I'm enjoying it. It's definitely giving like cozy, cute fall vibes because it's about a vampire. It is 4:15 right now and I have class at 5, so until then I'm going to jump back into my physical read, which is Kingdom of the Wicked. Hopefully get a good chunk into this. I haven't had a ton of time to physically read the last couple of days, so I really want to get farther into this book. I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes, see how much I can read in that time. Some of it's funny. They be making jokes that are funny sometimes. Sorry, is no one like, she has lived in this town her whole life and now she's just like parading the streets with a demon from hell. Is no one concerned about that? Like, no one's wondering who this man is. Let's chat, because last night I finished Kingdom of the Wicked and this morning I finished My Roommate is a Vampire. Not this morning, I finished it like an hour ago. But first, Kingdom of the Wicked. I don't really remember what I said in my last update. I feel like I was like halfway through the book when I last told you guys my feelings. The second half of the book, Amelia is really dramatic. Like, I know her sister died, so like obviously she's gonna be on edge with this whole situation that's happening. The fact that she summoned a demon, that's very nerve-wracking, and like, girl, be dramatic about that. But I feel like those things are where she wasn't dramatic enough, and then other things she was super dramatic about, which I was like, why are you acting that way? Also, why was she so mean to Wrath? Wrath is the demon that she summoned. She constantly is like just talking about how much she hates him, but it's like these preconceived notions are the reasons why she hates him. Like, she hates him because of the stories her Nona told her when she was growing up, and she hates him because he's a demon from hell. But his own character and like him as a person has shown her that he's not a terrible person. So I just felt like her constantly saying like in her internal monologue like how much she hates him and stuff was a little bit like, why, when he's clearly showing you that he's not that person. All that being said, I still enjoyed the book. I ended up giving it 3.75 stars. It was very fast paced. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm gonna read more. Like, I want to know what happens next and like the answers to my questions that I have, and like find out the things I'm confused on. But at the same time, my book club meeting for this book isn't until November November 17th and today is October 31st. So I feel like if I read the rest of the series, by the time my book club meeting comes, I'm not gonna remember where this book ended and the other ones began. So we'll see. We'll see if I continue the series, but I did enjoy this. It just wasn't my favorite book in the entire world. Then I also finished My Roommate is a Vampire. I listened to this entirely on audio. A couple notes. If there's one thing about me, I will eat up a who did this to you moment. This book had one of those and I literally gasped out loud. Luckily I wasn't at the gym when that happened. I was home listening and but I literally like had a reaction. I was like, turn it up, like I need to hear what's coming next. Something that irked me was that Cassie, the female main character, is constantly like, why do you like me, Frederick? I'm nobody. I literally hate that. I hate when that's like part of the story. Like, just because you're human and he's a vampire doesn't mean you're nobody. And I hate when the woman especially is like, I'm like nobody, I'm just a woman, like how could you ever like me? Girl, come on. And then lastly, there's this like plot thing. I wouldn't even call it a plot twist, but this like way that the plot goes at the end that I just didn't really like enjoy. It kind of felt like the author was trying to do too much. In my head, I predicted that something way more low stakes was gonna happen and more emotional, and I was like, that's gonna be a great way to end this book. That's gonna be a great third act breakup, third act conflict moment, and that's not what happened. Like, what I thought was gonna happen is not what happened. Instead, it was a very like action dramatic scene thing, which I felt kind of didn't really fit in with the book, but it wasn't terrible. It just like was not where I was expecting the book to go. So this book I decided to give 3 stars. I liked it. I would recommend it. It just really wasn't my favorite. I definitely would not read it again. So that is 3 books finished in this video. Yesterday I finished Pride and Prejudice. I don't think I gave a single update for this book the whole time I was listening to it, but it's only a 4-hour audiobook, so I listened to it over the weekend during my Halloween festivities. You're probably wondering why I decided to listen to this. I was watching a video by Rachel Catherine. You guys probably all know who she is, and she recommended a dramatized adaptation of Pride and Prejudice on Audible, and I have tried to read Pride and Prejudice before and I just could not get into it. Like, I ended up DNFing it. I just did not understand what was going on, but this adaptation was so good. It felt like I was watching a movie. Like, it was so easy for me to understand. I felt so immersed in it. I just really enjoyed it a lot. Definitely recommend that. Let's recap the other 2 books I finished in this video as well. First, we finished Kingdom of the Wicked, which you guys know was my book club book this month. I ended up giving it 3.75 stars. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't my favorite book in the whole world. I got through it pretty fast. I think I'm used to, when I read fantasy, reading like a really long, like in-depth book or series, and so I just felt like this didn't give us as much depth as I'm used to in a fantasy book. The main character, Amelia, I found kind of annoying sometimes, and I was left with a lot of questions at the end of the book, which it is a series, so I need to keep that in mind. But overall, I enjoyed it. A quick, fun fantasy read that was great for fall. Then we listened to My Roommate is a Vampire. I think I ended up giving this 3 stars. This was a cute, fun fall romance. Not super memorable for me, like I'm already kind of forgetting it, but overall it was a fun listen. It helped me get in the fall vibes, obviously, because one of the main characters is a vampire. There were a couple romance tropes that I ate up. Forced proximity. It was kind of like friends to lovers, I feel like. There was a who did this to you moment. So good. There were a couple things that were like cringe to me or like kind of annoyed me, like the female main character constantly was like, I'm not good enough, why do you like me? But overall, I enjoyed the book. I would recommend it for fall time. Those are the 3 books I read / listened to in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun filming it. Fall is my favorite season, so I loved reading these books. I guess they weren't very fall themed. Like, this one's just a fantasy, and then the one had a vampire in it, and Pride and Prejudice was just random, but you know, it all gave me fall vibes. It all gave me fall vibes. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.